Hey everybody, this is Tom Mitchell, the Highland Traveler. I am getting ready to enter the Valley of Fire State Park in Nevada for a little fun in the sun. It's going to be a little warmer than I would want today. It's Friday. It's going to hit about 95, I think, here. I'm going to be spending the night and heading out in the morning. I've got a plan in mind. I photographed in here quite a few years ago, a great horned owl living between the campgrounds, and I've been in there since then, and I know there's still some living in there. Wasn't able to photograph them then, but I'm gonna try again and see what I can get. So welcome to this adventure. I hope you enjoy it. Well, I'm here in the Arch Rock Campground. It's already like 85, maybe 90 degrees in here. So it's going to be kind of a brutal day as far as the heat goes. My plan is to, as you can see, my camera set up behind me, my 300 millimeter. I've got my fixed 300 2.8. I'm going to put a teleconverter on it possibly and take my 70 to 200. And my plan right now is to go scout in this spot that I know these great horned owls hang out and see if I can find them in their roosting. This is actually the kind of the time to do that. You don't want them while they're out active first thing in the morning or in the evening. You want to catch them in the middle of the day. And this one box canyon that's quite narrow that I found them in before, I'm going to go poke around back in there and see if I can find them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go poke around back around here and see if I can find those owls. So it's hot. It's really warm. So this little canyon, this little box canyon is quite shady. It's really overgrown. Not many people go up in there. I'm not seeing any fresh human footprints because it's quite overgrown. It's got a lot of thorn bushes in there you got to navigate through. I looked, and the ledges that I've seen the owl sitting on before have the poop stains around them. So I know these owls are still hanging in here. My wife and I were poking around here back then. She used to live in Vegas and used to bring tours out here. She was a tour guide for a tour company. And we came out here poking around, and I said, let's go poke around back up in some of these little box canyons in here. We got back in there, and I said, there's an owl living in here. She said, how do you know? And I said, look at that white marking up there on the cliff faces. She's like, yeah, I've seen that before. What is that? I said, it's their poop. It's, well, they'll sit and roost all day long and poop. So that's one of the main ways I find birds where they're hanging out is especially, owls like that, where they'll sit in one spot. They're not in there right now, at least not on the perches I've seen them on, but they may be there somewhere else. So I'm gonna go poke in there a little slower. They roost high enough up. When I was in here before, it didn't spook them. Typically have to get really close to them before they'll spook and move. It totally depends though. Sometimes they'll just see you coming and take off from 400 yards away. So I'm gonna move in there. There's no point of moving quietly or trying to move stealthily with owls. It's pointless. It's kind of like trying to sneak up on mule deer. They hear you long before they see you, and these owls will see you long before they hear you or anything else. But I'm going to go look around and see what I can find. always love this little spot. It's a little shady, grassy, and this cool little cave. A lot of rabbit tracks in here. Rabbit droppings. I'm sure there's fox hanging in here. So there have been people in here ahead of me. I'm seeing tracks here. But isn't this cool? Just a little arch kind of cave. So those owls typically hang right up in there. You can see the little white marks, little white spots on the red rock. That's their poop stains. I typically don't go much further than this. I don't need to go any further than this. If they're hanging in there, that's where they'll be. There's lots of places for them to roost. They could be in one of the other canyons. It's a nice breeze blowing up through here, just a slight breeze. It's a lot cooler in here than it was out there in the sun. Well, I'm gonna find a place to set up and just sit and watch this area. Wherever they are, they're probably sitting for the day. But we'll see. They might be in here. Here's a really good roost right down low. You can see all the droppings. Probably owls. There's ravens living in here too. But the owls like to perch in those kind of areas. Lou and the family has been here. Freaking morons. That is so against the law. You're in a state park. I don't know why people feel the need to do that. Look at that. Where the sandstone has eroded away. Left a cool window. So I found a nice little shady spot here. Probably be another hour or so before the sun gets to this point. I didn't put my lapel mic on because it doesn't pick up the ambient sound. It's quiet in here except for the birds. So I wanted you to be able to hear these birds. I think they are finches. They sing kind of like a finch, but not a typical house finch. I'm not sure what they are. So I've just sitting here watching that spot. They've been roosting down here too. I showed you that. And then further up. I got a good view of that ledge up there where I photographed that one some years back. It's a cool little window ledge. And I got it just sitting there. It's not a fantastic photograph. It was handheld. And it's not sharp when you blow it up above about 24 by 36. It's an older camera, a Fuji FinePix Pro S2 that I had. And it just... I mean, I like the shot and I like the concept, but I've been trying to get a different one, a new one, with much higher resolution. Easier said than done. And I'm just going to sit in here and relax, listen to the bird sing, and enjoy this. as the sun has gotten higher up, I decided to poke a little bit further up in here. I think I've been this far. I don't remember for sure. Talk quiet because it's peaceful in here. Well, let me show you this. So this is as far as you can get. This huge boulder sheared off of the sandstone and fallen down in here. It's huge. There's the top back in there. I guess if you really wanted to, you could bushwhack it up through there and climb up over that boulder, but it's just thorny, but it comes in here. Because of this big boulder where it fell in, it creates a little grotto. Just a really shady little grotto. Perfect place to just sit and chill if you wanted to. The floor's a little sandy, more rock than sand. Look at these carved out areas where the wind and the rain have carved it out. And this just huge boulder. It's nice. There's the cool air is dropping through that hole up there. As the air cools and drops down, it's coming down through here, and it's got just a slight breeze. It's very air conditioned in here. I wouldn't be shocked if there's not bats back up in this back dark corner right here. There's probably some roosting back in there. Look at that. Just really cool in here. Literally cool. I mean, look at this. Look at that pattern in the sandstone. This one right here is really cool too. You can see where something's been roosting there. Could just been a small bird. I'm not seeing, typically you'll find the pellets at the base of a place where an owl has been roosting. You'll find the pellets with the bones in them. And I'm not seeing that, so this is probably just where some other birds have been roosting. Finches or swallows. Just really neat. Look at that one up there. And of course the people who have to come in here and try to scratch their mark for all eternity. Like those yahoos who left the fingernail polish that their family had been here. Probably their teenage daughter did it. I hope she got a butt showing over it. Her parents probably didn't. No, they probably just, oh, that's cool. Thanks for doing that. See, here's another one where somebody scratched their initials. Don't do that. Don't be an a-hole. It's really pretty. So the longer you stay in one area, just sit there and listen and watch, the more you'll find, see, and hear. Kind of weird. I think somebody was coming up below me. I heard some weird noises down there. It sounded like rocks falling. Kind of weird. Maybe there's sheep hanging out in here and they were knocking rocks off, but I don't think there's any water around, so I doubt there were sheep. I don't know. I didn't hear any voices typically, unless it was a lone person. Typically people are in groups and they're talking. My voice is carrying really loud out of here, I'm sure, because it's like a little amphitheater. But as I was saying, the more you'll see and hear and find. So I'm poking around and just noticing. I found one great horned owl feather, and then looked down in the bushes and there was another. So I've composed it and I'm sitting here photographing it. Let me show you. There it is right there. I picked a spot. I was able to wedge it up in the rock. So there's my exposure information. I wanted to stop it way down, make sure everything was nice and sharp. Change the white balance to about 5000 K to help give that rock more natural look. And there's my histogram. So I tried to compose it in such a way that it's coming out of the lower third and is coming into the scene. It was a good find. Here it is. I moved it to another spot. I really like this against that black desert varnish. The light source is coming from the left, coming in and just lighting it nicely, giving that nice rim light along the crack of the sandstone. I think that's really cool. The trick with this kind of stuff is to try to keep it flat on a flat plane. So here's what I just got. If you can keep it on a flat plane, it's going to be all in focus as sharp as possible. I really like that one a lot. Really nice looking. So you just have to poke around. I mean, just sit and watch and wait and listen, observe what's going on. This is such a wonderful shady spot. It's cool. The air comes down from above through that hole and just cools it off in here. It's probably 95 degrees out there right now, and in here it feels like it's 70. Probably is. I didn't bring a thermometer with me. But if you find bird of prey feathers like this, great horned owl, you can't keep them. Don't keep them. Of course, it's hard to tell, if you don't know feathers. The best practice is just don't pick up bird feathers when you find them, unless you know what you're looking at, because it is against the law to have feathers from any bird of prey, great horned owl, eagles, hawks, falcons, any of those. It's against the law to have the feathers unless you're American Indian, Native American. So just, I'll just drop it back in the bushes when I'm done playing with it. I'm going to do a couple other compositions here, see what I can find. So when I first got here, I was actually really intrigued with this little spot back in this little shelter. I thought it was really cool, and I thought when I found this feather, I had to stick it up in there, but I couldn't reach. So I got a stick. You saw how I did that. Let me show you this. I just was really intrigued with the layers of the sandstone back in there, and I thought that would really be cool to stick that feather in there. So I got it up in there and positioned it with that stick. I think I like it. Sometimes things you do don't turn out as well as you like. So there's what I just got. I think it's a little bit underexposed, but the white, because the light source is coming from behind me and right on it, the white was blowing out. I've got the white balance at about 3,500. I think it was 37. And I really like the color of the greenish gray of the sandstone and the red. I really like that. Here's one I really like. So I really like these little pockets. So I was able to place it in this one. And I really like it. There is that slight breeze. You can see it's just moving just a tiny bit, a little bit of those little downs. That's fine. I really like how this one turned out. Check this out. Look at that beautiful side light. Wonderful warm light. I'm at 4,000 on the white balance. A lot of times I'll shoot with auto white balance, but it totally depends on the circumstance. And this one I didn't like the color. Was the auto white balance wasn't giving me good color. The color I wanted this nice warm, so I've changed it. But yeah, I just really like this. The feather, the tones in the feather, I just really like that. I always like detail shots. I see other people do things like this and I'm always like, oh, that's so cool. And I typically just don't set myself up to do it, and unless I get out and spend time like this, just watching, relaxing, enjoying, and looking for objects that I can pick out and do this. And to take something like this and actually compose it in the wild is not typically me, but I love it when I see other people have done it. so I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spend some time with this feather. So this is really cool. The light source is coming from right behind me to the left of the subject. It's the sun is actually that way in front of me, but this is the light source coming in to this area because of it reflecting off of the sky and off of those rocks, which is a really nice light source. It's giving a lower light source angle because it's reflecting off of those rocks, which is giving this really nice lighting in here. This nice side light text showing the texture of all the sandstone in these pockets. And this one I've done it vertical. I'm at about 5,000 on the color temperature there. Really makes it nice and warm and just makes that nice, just that really stand out. There's my histogram. It's looking slightly underexposed because of all that black rock, but I really like the rim effect along there. I really like the way that the light is coming in and rim lighting this pocket that I've got it posed against. That beautiful red and that black varnish. This is just really fun. I'm going to poke around a little bit more, see what else I can find. I think I'm going to leave this spot or come out of here and go see if those owls have moved in. I got to go back down the trail a little bit to get a better view up here. If not, I'm going to go look in a couple of the other spots I know they might be hanging out. See if I can get in there a little bit. If I can find them, then I'll go in when it's a little towards dusk before they start moving and go in there and try to get shots of them. Thanks for watching this episode. Make sure to watch the next episode where I go back out looking for these great horned owls and actually end up finding bighorn sheep.